108-104 with the Boston Celtics taking the opening night win. That's your final score from Madison Square Garden here, where the New York Knicks shot just 53.8% from the charity stripe and weren't able to topple Boston. Made a flurry of moves in the offseason, acquiring Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday that really sets them up on paper as one of the contenders in this NBA. And they showed it tonight, looking really good against the New York Knicks. Jayson Tatum with the stud performance. You know, he put up 34 points. Kristaps Porzingis with 30 points of his own, and another return for him to Madison Square Garden. I think most impressive, though, about the game was the fact that the New York Knicks, just about out-rebounded the Celtics, and they stayed in it. I think it was the free throw shooting for New York that really allowed Boston to stay ahead. It felt like the Celtics would get out to these 8 or 10-point leads, and New York would always be able to come back. But at the end of the game there, despite some great three-pointers from Grimes, Randle, despite an inbound steal from Quickley that really got some momentum for the squad, Knicks weren't doing enough on both ends, I think particularly early on. Late game, their execution was good. The offense looked good. Second unit had some great runs throughout the game. But when you take a look at how the game started, Julius, Randle, and Jalen Brunson really struggling from the field. Brunson going 6 for 21. Randle 5 for 22. It's not the start you're looking for from your two all-star, all-NBA caliber players, as Immanuel Quickley himself describes them as. So you take a look at how the Knicks did against the Celtics team. Yes, it's encouraging that despite shooting 54% from the free throw line, they only lost by 4 points to a Boston team that, again, on paper is slated to be one of the best in the NBA. The flip side of that coin is this is a Knicks team that had shooting as one of its issues following last season, added Donte DiVincenzo in free agency, and is still struggling with shooting enough where 54% from the free throw line is possible for them. It's a really tough look, especially with Brunson and Randle struggling from the floor. RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, the two that really stepped up for New York, and Quentin Grimes had a nice game as well as that ancillary kind of shooter and defender. But the new look Knicks, as in DiVincenzo in, top, and out, no match for the real new look Celtics here in the opening match of the 2024 NBA regular season. Of course, it's early on in the year. The Knicks have a lot of opportunities to improve, to go watch the film, work on free throw shooting, you name it. But overall, I think they can just lean on that late game execution they had. They looked really solid at the end. Even Brunson, who was struggling throughout the game, making good plays offensively. And Randle, I want to look at the defensive end with him. He was active all game long. He was engaged all game long. I think 51% of defense comes from effort, and Randle showed that today. It's a problem the Knick faithful have had with him in the past. Randle, good effort, good activity today, really mobile around the court. And the two centers thing, we'll talk about this last. Isaiah Hartenstein closing out the game instead of Mitchell Robinson. I think Thibodeau likes that Hartenstein spaces the floor a little more than Robinson does. I don't think Hartenstein's a three-point shooter, but he does get that spacing out to about 15, 17 feet there from the mid-range, where it's a bit of a different look than Robinson. When the Knicks are searching for points, Hartenstein's a good opportunity, for them to look at and have a center that can do some things offensively, especially ball in his hands, make some great passes. Overall, you look to Immanuel Quickley, closing this game and being in the game for so long. He played about 28 minutes tonight as a real positive. The Knicks unable to reach an extension with him prior to the deadline for incoming restricted free agents. Vassell, McDaniels reached deals, but Quickley could not. I think the two sides, just couldn't bridge that gap, but he came out tonight and had a really strong game. Really nice for Immanuel Quickley, 24 points, 7 of 11 shooting, and then he throws in 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 4 defensive rebounds, 6 total, and only 3 personal fouls, 4 assists. Kind of goes to show how much of an impact Quickley had tonight against Boston.
How was it sharing the backcourt with Donte for the first game? Talking to Coach before the season, I told him it almost reminds me a little of when you and Derek used to kind of share duties off the bench. What was that like game one?
It was great. Donte makes my job a whole lot easier. He can, initiate offense. He can guard the team's best player on the team. He's a great rebounding guard. He does a little bit of everything as well. He's a great player. He's going to be great for us this year. So, he makes my job so much easier. So I appreciate him.
Really strong Boston team. Looked good in their opening night of play, but overall, I think the Knicks lost themselves this one. I'm not so sure the Celtics won it. We'll keep you posted here from Madison Square Garden, where the New York Knicks will continue this 2024 campaign. I'll have you covered along with Colin Loughran, my co-beat reporter here for WFUV. So stay tuned to our Knicks and Nets coverage as the NBA season has officially tipped off. I'm Kris Pursiainen signing off from MSG.